So what's good, homies? What's good? What's good? It's your man, Dr. BOA, aka King Ray Ray, in the building. Let's give the people a few minutes to get in the joint. The Swell the Wizard. What's good, brother? What's good? Let's give the people a few minutes to get in the joint, man. Give the people a few minutes to pile in. Spiritual. What's good, brother? What's good? Appreciate you being in the joint, man. Appreciate y'all brothers being in the joint. Got to give the people what they want. We're going to take a dive on this one. It ain't going to be what they think it is, but we're going to take a dive on it nonetheless. That's what we're going to do today. Let's give the people a couple of minutes, man. Just a couple of minutes. Couple of minutes. Appreciate everybody being in the joint, man. I know it's been a minute. We've been pushing this thing back, man. We're gonna try to do a better job of coming through with the kingdom content. I know it's a tad bit early, but let's give the people about 5 minutes to get in here, man. That'll be 2 more minutes. Give them a couple more minutes to get in. I know they saw it up and saw me moving it around and probably thought, man, King Ray Ray ain't coming in here today, but here we are. Ready to do our thing, man. Harlem World Breaker, my brother SJ3, salute. Peace to you, my brother. Let's give the people another minute and a half, man, and we're going to go ahead and get into this thing. That's what we're going to do. All right, another minute, man. We're going to let them have it. All right, so here's the thing, man. We live in a society where the word of God is no longer something that people pride themselves in knowing. Men don't pride themselves in knowing, so women don't have the propensity to follow. There aren't enough men leading, so of course, there aren't enough women following. See, we always talk about how there are no women following, but we skip the fact that there are no men leading. Just because you make money doesn't mean you're a leader. Just because you're in good shape doesn't mean you're a leader. Just because you figured out how to do something for yourself doesn't mean you're a leader. There are many people who are in terrific shape that can't train somebody else how to get in shape to save their lives. They've never gotten a client in shape or stronger or any of those other things. You see, the reality of the scenario is that without God, there's only confusion. But in this society, we have a problem with accepting the fact that you don't deserve to have a woman following you unless she's your wife. See, we think that women are just supposed to follow men generally in society. That's not what the word of God says. So let's take a dive into this. Pesci Boomin, appreciate you, brother. Brother said, may the Most High continue to bless you on your journey. Thank you for all you do. Salute to you, brother. I appreciate that. Be blessed as well. Now, Genesis. We were going to do Genesis 3:16. That's the focal point of today's sermon. But we're going to read a little bit more. We're going to take a deeper dive into this thing. And I think I'm missing some light here. I don't like the way this looks. That's a little bit better. All right. So we're going to go to Genesis chapter 3, verse 9. And we'll start from there and we'll go all the way through to chapter 18. All right. And the Lord God called unto Adam and said unto him, where art thou? And he said, I heard thy voice in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, and I hid myself. And he said, who told thee that thou was naked? Hast thou eaten of the tree whereof I commanded thee that thou shouldest not eat? And the man said, the woman whom thou gavest to be with me, she gave me of the tree. Now we're going to stop right there. She gave me of the tree. Now, a lot of men in this society get hung up on that fact and say, well, the woman tricked the man. The woman fooled the man. The woman beguiled the man. That man didn't say the woman did nothing to him, but gave of the tree. She gave him of the tree. Now, if a woman give you a weapon, are you going to go harm somebody with it? Can you blame the woman for giving you the weapon? If a woman puts a plate of pork in front of you, and you eat it, and suddenly you've got hypertension, so bad, in fact, that they have to amputate one of your legs. Can you blame the woman that said, why did you put that pork in front of me on that plate? No, you wouldn't blame the woman. If you have an exorbitant amount of alcoholic beverages and drive your car and end up being in a vehicular homicide situation, are you going to blame the woman for letting you go out getting drunk? No, you're not. So just because the woman gave the man, that doesn't mean she beguiled him. Because let's go back up here. And he said, hast thou eaten? This is what God said to the man. Hast thou eaten of the tree whereof I commanded thee that thou shouldest not eat? God didn't say I commanded the woman. He said, I commanded thee that thou shouldest not eat. You, the man, Adam, I told you don't eat. No, I didn't tell you. I commanded that you do not eat of that tree. And herein lies the problem. Men skip past all of that and want to say that the woman did it. The woman made me do it. The woman gave it to me. The woman made me go against God. No, the woman gave you an option to go against God, and you, the man, said, yes, I will go against God for you, woman. I love you so much, woman, I will go against God. And here's the thing. We don't even know if the man did it because he loved the woman. He didn't say that. We make that part up. The man had an opportunity to lead, but not lead the woman. Lead who? Lead himself. You see, the woman had already partaken of the fruit. So there was no chance for him to lead the woman away from doing it. She had already been beguiled. He could only lead himself from doing it, which he failed at. Now let's continue. Now, after he said, the woman whom thou gavest to be with me, she gave me of the tree. What was his next words? And I did eat. And I did eat. She didn't put it in my mouth. She didn't hold me down. She didn't get me drunk. She didn't hide it in some other kind of food and give it to me. She didn't take it and make an apple pie. And I said, oh, this is some good pie. What you use? I used the fruit off that tree. No, she didn't say that. She gave to me. And I, at that moment, made a split-second decision as a man that I'm going to eat. See, we can't be around here buying into the concept of blaming women. That is not a godly position to be in, because when you are a man, you make the decisions in your own life. No matter who influences you, no matter what coerces you, the end result is your decision. So, and the Lord said unto the woman, what is this that thou hast done? And the woman said, the serpent beguiled me, and I did eat. See, the woman would not have presented the fruit to the man unless she had eaten it already. At that point, you believe that you know what to do. See, once you decide that you're going to start thinking about what God tells you to do, you're going to go the opposite direction, because there's God and there's Satan. There's good, there's evil, there's right, there's wrong, there's up, there's down, there's all of that. And the Lord said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. And I will put enmity between thee and the woman. Enmity is animosity. And between thy seed and her seed, and it shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. Snakes bite us on our lower extremities, and we have to kill a snake. The only way to kill a snake is to hit it on the head immediately. The only way to kill a snake is to bruise his head. Now, unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception, which is pain in pregnancy. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children. And here's our catch. And thy desire shall be to thy husband. Thy desire shall be to thy husband. It didn't say to every man walking around. Women are not put here to submit to all men. Women don't have to just be submissive. A single woman does not have to be submissive to the men of the world. That is not why women were created, to just submit to all the men of the world. A woman shall submit to her husband, and he shall rule over thee. And unto Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree which I commanded thee, hearken to the voice of thy wife over the voice of God. He didn't say because you love the woman, because you did this. He said because you have hearkened unto the voice, not the love, not the heart, not the emotion. Let's not act like Adam did this because he was under some spell. He did it because he wanted to make the woman happy. He forgot the source of his life. He forgot the source of his paradise. He forgot the source of his strength. Because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of it, cursed is the ground for thy sake. In sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life. Thorns also and thistles shall it bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat the herb of the field. In the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat bread till thou return unto the ground, for out of it was what was thou taken. For dust thou art, and unto dust thou shalt return. Now, let's talk about this. Modern men have no strength because they have forsaken the word of God. Modern men have feminine energy, which they have no problem exposing, because they have forsaken the word, the way, the instruction, the statutes and commandments of God. There is no other explanation to it. More men are saying there is no God than ever, and more men are being led astray by all different types of things in their lives than ever. Don't you see the correlation? We talk about how modern women don't do what our grandmothers used to do. Well, your grandmother had a husband. You can't say you're not going to marry no woman and then say women aren't submissive. Well, who the hell are they supposed to submit to? Who are they supposed to submit to? See, let me tell y'all something. And later on this evening, man, on the BOA channel, Fresh and Fit did a wonderful job of explaining this to a group of girls they had on their podcast, man. And I'm going to chop up that piece of content later on the BOA channel. So y'all tune in for that. Go over there, man. Set your timer, set your alert so you can be ready for that. They did a wonderful job because now I'm not going to absolve modern women from being what they're supposed to be, because all of this tomfoolery that they're doing all over the place with all of these different activities and things that they want to be indulged in and say that they shouldn't be held accountable. Yes, you should be held accountable. You should be looked at a certain way if you live a certain life. You should be looked at as a Jezebel if you live a Jezebel life. You should be looked at as a scallywag if you live a scallywag life. Yes, it is your body. You can do what you want to do with it, but there are consequences and repercussions to the decisions that you make, and you cannot absolve yourself from those consequences and repercussions just because you don't want nobody to say nothing. No. The same way those activities make you call a man a certain thing, then you shall be referred to as a certain thing if you do those activities as well. We live in a world where people want to be able to sin and do what they want to do. People want to be able to live whatever life they want to live. People want to be able to offend other people however they want to offend other people. People want to be able to do everything that comes to their mind. They want to be able to respond with their five senses: what they see, what they hear, what they smell, what they touch, what they taste. They want to be able to respond in a way where they don't have to use logic, reason, understand. They don't have to use spiritual astuteness, and then they want to be not held accountable for their actions. They want to be able to take people out with no accountability. They want to be able to spread themselves thinly and come up with some type of STI and not be held accountable. They want to be responsible for the downfall of the proper upbringing of children and not be held accountable. Everybody wants to live the life they want to live, and when the consequences come, everybody want to just be held back. They want to be protected from the consequences of their decisions. That's why you have so many men complaining about women. You have so many women complaining about men. You have so many people complaining about their environment, but nobody wants to understand that having a positive relationship with God is the only way to fix it. Brothers, we are so far away from people accepting the fact that having a positive relationship with God is the way to change these things, is that we might as well accept that there is not going to be an uptick in righteousness. There is not going to be an uptick in people who are spiritually astute. There is not going to be an uptick in people who decide to do the right thing over the wrong thing, because most people can't even determine the two. They say that whatever you want to do is the right thing. You only live once, live your life. But I say this: accept the consequences of that life. If you're a woman and you're out there living your best life, doing all the things you want to do, accept the fact that there is not going to be a man there for you who wants to make you his wife. If you're a man out there traipsing around doing all of these things, wasting your time, wasting your money, and you get to the point where you can't work as hard as you could when you were young and you ain't got no money, accept the consequence of the fact that no woman wants a man who can't provide. She shouldn't. She shouldn't want a man who can't provide. But at the same time, women have to understand that if you are not worth providing for, no man should have to provide for you. Women must understand that you cannot be giving away milk for free and expect somebody to buy the cow. I don't need no cow if I got milk all in my refrigerator. What am I going to buy a cow for? What am I going to buy a used car for when I got a fleet full of brand new ones in my garage? What am I going to buy some molded bread for when I got a bread factory producing me fresh bread every day? People live in such a delusional state in this society that you have to ask yourself, are we really truly living in the twilight zone, as my brother SJ just said? And the answer is, we are living in something very similar. People want to be able to not work and have things. People want to be able to not grind, not build up a name for themselves, not put in the amount of work necessary to be able to offer a reciprocal relationship, a symbiotic relationship. Everyone is all take. And not because they don't want to give, but they don't have anything to give. The majority of times in this society, when you see a situation take the wrong spin, it's because there are people involved who don't have anything to give. And people don't have the common decency, the common courtesy to either build yourself up to where you have something to give or get out of the way because you don't have anything to give. And the reality of the scenario is this. A lot of this has taken place because of the interference of Christianity in the true relationship of the descendants of the children of Israel with the Most High. It has been the single most devastating part of our existence in this particular society. And see, the leaders of the people are here. The leaders of the people are here. But we are so far away from the true understanding of who we are as God's chosen people that we will continue to falter. Because we're to the point now where our men hate the women and the women hate the men. Brothers hate their brothers and their mothers and their fathers. And all of those people hate them as well. All of these things have been prophesied. So if we're not going to follow the word of God, or at least we can look and say, wow, how did that book know this was going to happen? The greatest trick that Satan has ever played on the world is to make the world think he doesn't exist. But not Satan. That doesn't mean that Satan doesn't exist. The greatest trick that Satan ever played on the world is to make the world think God doesn't exist. And I know we hear all of the time, many men have totally shunned the concept of God existing. Why? Because there is no God in Christianity. There is no God. God is not there. The Spirit of God is within us. The interaction with God, the direct interaction with God in the temple is for the priest. It was never intended for all of us to be in a temple, in a synagogue, interacting with God. The priests are the liaison between us and God. All of these things are wrong. The simple thing is having having stairs going up to the altar of God is an abomination. When the last time you went into a church and the preacher was down on the floor with everybody else? There are always some stairs up to the altar. He's always towering over everyone, looking down on everyone from the stairs up to his altar. When you think about the society that we live in today, I don't have to worry about the system as much as I have to worry about somebody who looks like me. Since I've been on this platform, on either of my channels, no, I have never had anyone who didn't look like me attempt to stop me. I have never had anyone who didn't look like me say bad things about me, try to create negative energy around me, create lies, create rumors, do all of these things. I have never had anyone who doesn't look like me do these things. Because my people can't accept the fact that it is our fault that we're in this situation. They keep talking about the system. We're going to battle the system. We're going to compete against. Why are we competing against the system when we were delivered here on purpose? We are here as a punishment for being the same way that we are now. You would think at some point we would accept the fact, hey, I don't want to live like this no more. I want to make it better for my children. I want to make it better for myself. I want to make it better for my children's children. Let me tell you something. I have never heard any other race of men say in such large numbers, I ain't having no son. Well, let me tell you something, stupid. If we all say we ain't having no sons, how long you think we gonna last? These guys are living with the intent of being the last generation of who they are. They are living with the intent of being the last generation of their bloodline. I want you to think about how sad that is for a man to say, I am the only man left of my bloodline and I will not pass my genes on. No other animal on the planet does that. You look at the male species of other animals, boy, they fight to the death to be able to pass on their genes. And here we are, the only group of men on the planet who by and large say, I ain't leaving no seed behind. Let me tell you something. You ain't gonna never hear a man that got no God in his life say that. You ain't gonna never hear a man who got God in his life say that. So what we are gonna have to accept is that there are not many godly men among us. And that's cool. Don't take a whole lot of godly men. Don't take a whole lot. It just takes some that are going to stand on principle. See, when we look out in the society and you hear men always point the finger at women, look around at these other cultures. Tell me how many of these other cultures you see always point the finger at their women. Always. See, here's the thing. If a woman does an activity, we have the right to call her on it. If women do activities every day, we have the right to call them on it. But when you do something, you don't have the right to blame a woman for what you do. How are you going to blame the woman for what you do as a man? I don't care if you raised by a single mom. I don't care about none of that. Because there's enough information out here. There are enough men out here willing to lead you into the essence of who you're supposed to be. So I don't want to hear no excuses. I don't want to hear no more excuses. Because regardless of who you were raised by, instinctively, you are who you are. You are who you were created to be. So I don't want you. Let me tell y'all something, man. Since I started doing consultations with women, I realized that, yeah, there may be some actions that they do that are very questionable and they need to be called out on. But you'll be surprised at how many women have never met a man who even wants to lead. So it's less about women not following than it is about men not leading. Now, y'all ain't gonna like this. I know somebody gonna have something to say, well, real way, he taking the side of women. I'm taking the side of righteousness. I'm taking the side of truth. I'm taking the side of God. The problem is women don't meet men who want to lead. You know how many women out of men that had a man in the household with them and took care of all the bills? And he was okay with that? Don't you think that's kind of tough to recover from? It's as tough to recover from for a woman, even tougher than a man who's taking care of a woman, which is his naturally inclined position, who's taking care of a woman and got done wrong. Look how hard it is for a man to overcome that. Now imagine a woman who's out of position taking care of a man. The longer you stay out of position in life, the more confused you are about what your position should be. An educated woman, her body got to wear down, her mind got to wear down. She got to be closing in on 40 before she says, I don't want to do this no more. Look at Jenny Ma. Look at Jeezy wife. That woman said she was closing in on 40. She was in her mid to late 30s, and she said, I don't want to do this no more. I have consulted with women all the time who are fed up. You look at Kevin Samuel's channel, he has shows with women all the time who have gotten to the point where they finally fed up. That's the only way she's going to revert back to who she was. She has to become so fed up that she can't fake it till she makes it anymore. That's how it is when you're living in a realm, in a society, in an environment where you're not who you're supposed to be. You're dead set on being someone else. And if you spend 20 years being someone else, you forget who you are. You forget that as a man, you're supposed to lead. She forgets that as a woman, she's supposed to follow. You know why? Because you've been following for so long and she's been leading just as long. You put a woman in an environment where there is no man, she has to try to lead. The problem is she's always going to fail at leading. Now, she may be able to cover it up by paying her own bill. I pay my own bills. So what? If you're going to be by yourself, you're supposed to pay your own bills. You don't get no props for that. The same way as a man, if you protect and provide for a family, if you take on a family, it's your job to protect and provide that family. But more than that, it's your job to lead that family spiritually. And the spiritual aspect of existing in this society is dead. It is dead. You see the amount of foolishness that goes on social media, which reflects what goes on in the real world. You see the amount of harlotry that goes on, not just with women and men. You see the amount of sexual depravity that goes on, and you look around and you say, wow, is this really the world we live in? So people wonder why, man, they want to go out to a club. Man, I'm not going to no club. I'm a man of God. I don't go to clubs. Man, we need to go to the shake joint. I ain't going to no shake joint. I'm a man of God. I don't go to shake joints. Man, we need to go to this party. I ain't going to no party. I'm a man of God. I ain't going to no party. Man, we need to go. Let's go over here. Man, listen, brother. I'm on a very difficult mission, as are the men of the kingdom, to convert our people back to their true essence. See, it's one thing for me to be who I am, and you try to convert me to something else. I'm trying to convert you back to who you're supposed to be. Just to who you're supposed to be. You got, man, do you know that black men die younger than everybody else in society? In America, we die young. I'm talking about the famous among us. Let me tell you something. DMX, 50. Michael Jackson, 50. Prince, 50. You keep counting. The list goes on of men who are dying in their 50s and 40s. 40s. What kind of stress are you going through? What kind of life are you living? What kind of hellion is going on in your brain? What kind of detachment do you have from the spirit of the Most High if you dying in your 40s? I ain't even talking about from being killed. I'm talking about you're dying. People just coming home and finding you dead in your 40s, man. Do you understand that at 40, you only been grown for 10 years? You ain't grown until you're 30. At 21, you just enjoying the fact that you can do whatever you want to do now. It take you 7 years till you 28 to say, okay, wait a minute now. This ain't that much fun no more. I'm starting to see my peers around me having some things. Or you're starting to see people that are 30, 31 having some things. And you're like, wait a minute, I'm 28. I ain't got that many years left. I better get some things. So you ain't grown until you 30. You don't start living a grown-up adult life until you 30. Even if you have money, you done with money until you 30. Virgil Abloh, 41. Gerald Levert, 40. Kobe, 40. We talk about men dying in their 40s, man. In their 40s. And we can't trace this back to the fact, man, that God is really PO'd with us. God is ticked, man. I'm telling you, he is ticked off. Got a couple super chats in here, man. Let me catch them up right quick. GC, salute. GC say salute, Ray. HWB, family, salute to you, bro. Kingdom, salute. Appreciate you, brother. Roy T, welcome to the family. Welcome to the Green Label Gang. Welcome to the kingdom of Ray, my brother. Pesci Boomin, appreciate 5 bones, man. Pesci say my relationship with God trumps all. My relationship with God is peace. My relationship with God is happiness, understanding, God's knowing. All of that, brother. All of that. Peace of mind is priceless. I'm telling you, peace of mind is priceless. And I think a lot of times, a lot of these men didn't have peace of mind in their lives. You got to have peace of mind. And the only way to have peace of mind, you have to be tied 100% into the Most High. You have to dedicate yourself to being tied into the Most High. You have to dedicate yourself to meditating in the word of the Most High. You have to dedicate yourself to shielding yourself from the evil intentions of the world. People are going to attack you with their words. People are going to attack you with their lies. People are going to attack you with social media. Every day there's someone, man, who jumps in my DM with some scam, trying to get me to send them a link, or trying to send me a link, there are people who jump in trying to get me to, who trying to send me money on Cash App, get me to send it back. There's all kind of crazy things that go on, and you will be caught up in these things if you don't keep a tight relationship with God. You'll be surprised at how often you're going to be attacked. But what you have to do, just stay away from it. You have to ignore it, because it's nothing that anyone does to bring you harm is going to harm you. What they did in order to bring you harm is only going to help you. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. And that's real talk. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. It shall turn into prosper for me. But you have to stay one with God in order for that. That's not just your life. You can't just say it and it be true. No, that is a result and benefit of living a life where you are tightly knit and close to the word of the Most High. I don't mean just know it, I mean do it. Passion Boom, appreciate the 5 bone, man. Real talk. If you follow God principle, you'll be blessed beyond your dreams. It's that simple. It's so simple. It seems too good to be true for many. And that's what it is, brother. It's too good to be true. They can't bring themselves to do it. It is too good to be true. I'm telling you, the peace of mind you get when you dedicate yourself to the word of the Most High. And see, you can't dedicate yourself to the Most High without dedicating yourself to the word. You got to apply the principles, precepts, statutes, and commandments to your life. And people say, well, you can't sacrifice no dove. Okay, well, I ain't sacrificing no doves. But you know what I can do? I cannot eat those abominable foods. I can honor the Sabbath day. I cannot put any God before him. I cannot worship an idol of God. I can do all of these things. I cannot be with a woman while she's on her time of the month. I can do all of these things. You do what you can, man. And serenity prayer, the rest of that stuff away, man. The reality of the scenario is this, brothers. We live in a society where there aren't many men who are going to accept the fact that everything can be traced back to a decision that was made by you. Even with Adam, his decision was to say, okay, I know that is the fruit that God told us not to eat. He told us not to eat the fruit of that tree. I have two options. Either I'm going to eat it or I'm going to say, hey, yo, God, the woman you gave me is an imbecile. She ate off the tree. What should I do with her? I don't want her no more. Or I can join this woman and eat this fruit. He made a decision. All of us make decisions. And those decisions are going to affect your life either in a positive manner or a negative manner. But here's the thing. The only ones that are going to affect your life in a positive manner are the ones where you choose to go in the direction that the Most High told you to go. You can't allow yourself to circumvent the fact that that is where peace lies. There is no other peace. None. You have so many men who are not in a peaceful space in their minds, in their life. The only way you can be in what I call the hellion space, where all you bring is negative energy. All you do is badmouth people. All you do is talk down on people. Everything you say is negative energy. Everything you say is an attack on you, on someone, on everything, on the world, on the people, on the system, on everything. You have no relationship with God. And if you have a relationship with God that you have built and cultivated, even as tough as that is in this society, then a man who doesn't have that relationship with God is beneath you. And you must treat that man as if he is scum, as if he is animal droppings on the bottom of your shoe. Because if not, you will do all of the things that God said don't do in the book of Proverbs. You will keep the company of evil men. You will follow wicked men as they do their wicked deeds. You will justify the wicked deeds of wicked men. You will be a part of the foolishness of their existence. And when the wrath of God comes upon that man, you shall not be spared because you did not care. You must care about your relationship with God, brothers. That's the only way you're going to defend it. That's the only way you're going to make sure that you avoid people who are offended. That's the only way that when the offer comes to go against the word of God, you're going to rescind it. You men must keep in mind that this is all we have. We don't have anything else. What separates us from the average man? What separates us from the man that's evil? What separates us from the man that's a killer? What separates us from the man that's a thief? What separates us from the man that's an adulterer? What separates us from the man that eats all kind of abominable foods? What separates us from the man that attacks his brother and creates strife with his brother for no reason? Our relationship with God. That's it. That's all we have that they don't have. But let's not diminish the value of that. That is all we need that they don't have. We don't need anything else that they don't have. We're good. Everything else, they can have it. We're good with what we have. Because you know the thing that we understand? We understand that peace of mind is priceless. You can't buy it. You can't rent it. You can't steal it. You can't lie your way into it. You can't cry your way into it. All you can do is develop that strong bond as a true son of the Most High. And at that point, you'll understand what we say when we say peace of mind is priceless. When you're in a state of peace of mind, you have no enemies. Because when a man way pleases God like that, he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him. You must keep in mind, brothers, that no matter what someone says or does, our shield and our buckler is our relationship with the Most High. And therefore, when a woman comes into your life, she will see you leading your life. She has no choice but to accept the fact that her desire shall be to you, and you shall rule over her. And if she can't buy into that fact, she's done. You don't lose anything. She does. Because contrary to what they might believe, God doesn't come into the life of a woman except he come through a man. A godly man at that. And if you're a godly man, put a 1 in the chat. Let's let God know that we know who we are and we're working hard to be that. The truth of the matter is this, my brothers. No matter what anyone says, man, we have come to a realization that developing this acceptance of who we are and who we need to be puts us light years ahead of what anyone else is thinking or doing. Because peace of mind preserves life. Peace of mind preserves everything, preserves finances. It preserves concern. It preserves your health. It preserves your wealth. It preserves yourself. It preserves everything. And the only way to get peace of mind is to accept who you are, who you need to be, and what you need to be doing. And do it right now. We're going to head on out of here, brothers. Big Mo, I see you, brother. I appreciate all y'all brothers being in here. Trees, I see you, bro. I appreciate y'all being in here, man. It's been a wonderful show, man, and we on go. We on go. Positive T, I appreciate the super sticker. We'll be back on the King Ray Ray channel tomorrow at noon, man. We'll be back tomorrow at noon. Let's keep this thing going. We're going to jump back into the word again. That's what we're going to do. This is a channel about the spiritual essence of being alpha. This is the Alpha King channel. And I am your host, King Ray Ray. This is what we will do because this is our job. This is our duty. This is our blessing. So I wish you brothers continued peace of mind. My brother, SJ3. My brother, GC. I appreciate y'all brothers being in here, man, doing what you do. Foxtrot Alpha. Appreciate you joining the family, brother. Welcome to the Green Label Gang. Welcome to the Kingdom of Ray. Brothers with the super chats, man, I appreciate you. Chief on the South, I see you, brother. I appreciate y'all brothers being in here. Spiritual OG, I see you fell through, man. Appreciate you being in here. Y'all put God first and keep grinding and growing out there, my brothers. Peace.